Hi, I'm Master Conley.
And I'm Zachary Conley.
And today we're going to be demonstrating what it requires in your Hapkido for your first degree black belt. So from pro black to first degree here today. What we're going to demonstrate here is 3 different punching techniques. So the first technique is him coming in hook punch here, and I'm going to hook my arm around. He's going to come in again, going to block it, going to hook my arm around here and lift up here. So I do that, I got a double arm bar. So you see my arms right here and coming up underneath here. I have double arm coming out, he's coming up on his tiptoes. I'll push him in the throat here, I'll hit him in the groin. So you notice that when I push in the throat, his groin comes forward, makes it a little easier for it to hit into the throat here. At this bigger point, I'll let go, grabbing into the head here, twisting the head. So my one hand is under the chin here, my other hand's in the back part of the head. I twist here, I take all the way down, and I pin his head down to the ground and pin my knee right here. So I have my knee right on the shoulder, coming on in, and right into the face strike here, okay? The next one's a hook punch and hook punch coming in again. This one's called a limb destruction technique. I come in, I block here, I destroy the bicep muscle here. He comes in, I block again, I strike into the bicep muscle, and if he's stupid enough to punch you again, I block here, I scoop down, and I come in ridge arm up, and I strike into the tricep tendon. So if you're doing this full force, I'm pushing down with this hand, I'm coming up with this hand, I break the arm here. If that's not enough here, you step behind him, and you kick his leg up from underneath him, and put him down on the ground. So right now, I'm right over him. I'm holding on to his arm. I do not let go of his arm. I take this leg right here, I swing it up, boom, axe kick, right into the rib cage. This knee's gonna drop down. Now in real life, you just drop that knee down right under the head. But in classroom, we don't want to hurt each other, so I take this knee and I'm gonna go right behind the head here. Right now, I have this heel digging into the rib cage. It's pressed up against this leg right here, so you can't escape. I push against the rib cage here. I'm gonna take his arm, his hand here, I'm gonna fold it and roll it into almost like a gooseneck or a figure 4 kind of feel to it. Pressing, this is a wrist compression technique. So I'm compressing that wrist lock right here. So he's tapping, so I have a good lock here. I have him secured right here as well. Okay, so that's technique number 2. Good. Technique number 3 is a linear punch. So the person's coming in straight in punch. I brush, trap, I could strike if I want, I can knee strike if I want, I can come into my arm bar. So he's coming in, he's punching at me again, brush, trap, strike, coming in, arm bar here. So I come in that nice strong arm bar. So I'm going to finish off a couple different ways, so I want you to watch. There's a couple different things you can do with this. He's coming in, brush, trap, strike here, arm bar. I can take the arm bar all the way down and take it down here. And I'm coming in, I'm grinding in that tricep tendon. I'm pulling up on this arm. This is where the control comes in, okay? All right, options, other options. Let's just say you have multiple attackers. I didn't have time to take him all the way down. I lock his arm, I push him away from me. So right now I'm able to, if you were my other attacker, I'd be able to deal with you right now, okay? All right, others, if maybe as a black belt level, you're getting pretty good at your Hapkido. I come in key strike, open hand, back fist, ox jaw, many different strikes into that rib cage. Coming in armbar, you feel, I don't like going down in the armbar, you can always transition to another lock. You're never restricted to just doing one. So I'm going to be doing defense against roundhouse kick. This first one's like a scissor block. So he throws his roundhouse at me, boom, I'm going to trap it. So I kind of got that one hand blocking, this hand blocking my face in case that was a low-high roundhouse. Going 1, 2, I still have this hand to protect me. So it's coming in from the roundhouse, boom, I come in, that scissor block, I strike hard, right into those quad muscles, boom, and with my blade in my arm, I take the hand here and I kind of almost like I'm giving him a hug around his waist, I step behind his leg, and if you're good enough on your horseback riding stance, you should be able to hold someone. Both feet off the ground in that horseback riding stance. So when I take him down more full speed here, I come on in here, I flip him, boom, round. See his break fall? That's important. I come in and I strike right on the inside, his femoral artery, inside, right above the knee, striking here. Pressure point strike, groin strike. The guy's still moving around at that bigger point. Take him, flip him over, and kick him right into the rib cage. Next one here is going to be more redirect concepts. So instead of trying to catch it, block it, stuff like that, it's coming in his roundhouse. I move back, I sweep it by. So he's off balance a little bit right now. This is good. I cover his eyes, I pull him backwards, off balance here. So you see him pulling back on his heels. From here, I'm going to guide his head right down to the ground. Now in real life, I would smash the ground right into the ground, right, his head right into the ground. So if that was concrete, that'd be a knockout technique in itself. Boom, strike in the side of the neck here. All right, this next one is very similar to the redirect and covering the eyes. So as he's coming in roundhouse me, I redirect him, But instead of going behind him, cover his eyes, I grab onto that shoulder here and I sweep into that leg. Boom! Come on in. Grab into that arm. Strike in. Boom! Here. Now I could drop my knee down and go into that wrist lock, but kind of fun is going to the arm bar from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down right behind him. I'm going to pull up on his arm hard. If you don't do this, he's not going to fall in that right position for the arm bar. So as I sit back, I pull up on his arm. So you see how he pulled into me. So I have no gap with him between my groin area here. I got to pull it in nice and tight. So right here, I have the beginning of an arm bar. Now, since we're martial artists, we know how to kick. So we have all the rib cage here, or the face here. So you have all these hook kicks here. So I hit him in the rib cage, when you soften him up. I hit him in the face, soften him up. I come on in for my arm bar. Arm bar, this arm, this elbow, this tricep tendon area, I'm going to pull it across my hip flexor and lift my hips up at the same time. He's going to tap. You could add that wrist lock. You do it here, and then come on in, wrist lock here. If I don't like that, extra credit, you could put your foot behind his head here. You could flip him around and spin around, and what we have is a figure 4 arm bar here. This is not required for black belt graduation. This is like very, very advanced. Coming in, locking into that elbow. So I just do this with my legs. It arm bars him. I come in and press against his wrist here. I have a wrist lock. And I come on in here with my elbow and I grind it into his back. I have a arm rest. Okay. So next attack, this person's coming in behind me here. What's called secure choke or rear naked choke. So if he had me on the ground, he'd have his legs wrapped around me. Yeah, I'm standing on up here. He got in on me. Ideally, when a person first comes in on you at choke level, you should drop in your horseback riding stance and drop your chin down first. So I like to get that chin in. Then I'm safe because it's really hard for him to choke me right now. But let's just say he got in on me really good into my neck. I only have a short amount of time to get out of this because 5 seconds, he knocks me on out. Same hand, that's his same arm is grabbing me and choking me. Same side hand reaches around, reaches for the back of the head. The other hand gonna come up and reach into the eyes. So in real life, you'd be grinding into the person's eyes. Since I like stack, I'm not gonna grind into his eyes, but this hand here, I'm not gonna be so nice. I'm going to press into the carotid artery. So you can get a close-up right there. See these fingers right here? I'm pushing straight in on that carotid artery here. So I'm pushing in. As I'm doing that, he's tapping the roll. And as I take him down, I use my chin to hold on to his hand here. So I kind of got this trapped here, pushing down here, striking in here. We've got all the locks open to you as well here. Okay? All right. So next thing I'm going to demonstrate is knife defense. And before I even get into knife defense and gun defense, there's just a basic concept that has to be explained first. Action-reaction concepts. Okay, so in a self-defense scenario, there's action-reaction. Being able to operate within a decision cycle of an attacker or an enemy is an important concept to learn in any martial arts. Any martial arts, whether it be Hapkido, Taekwondo, Karate, all of them. If you master this, if you understand, you grasp this, it opens up a huge self-defense door for you, a window of opportunity. So let me explain this to you. Zach's going to open his fingers here, and he sees me drop the card. He is going to just pinch his fingers together, and he's going to try to catch the card. Now, he doesn't know when I'm going to let go of it, so he is totally reacting to his vision of me letting go of the cards. I have that card between the fingers, I let go of it again. Now, this time, Zach, this is on camera. Everybody's watching you right now. I do need you to try to grab the card. You understand what I want?
Sir.
So anyways, I had a little distraction there. So that adds on to that reaction time. So anyways, we go in to knife defense. And as I say, he's grabbing onto my lapel. He has my knife up into my throat here. So he's got touching. So at any point in time, if I try to grab his arm, he's going to pull. Okay? If I hit him, he's going to pull. If I kick him, he's going to pull. So any hard style is not going to work at this bigger point. Hard style, maybe if I jerked here and then pushed this way, but then I still don't have any control of the weapon. So what I want to do is I want to put my hands in surrender position. I want to ask his demands, like, what do you want? And before he can even answer me, I come on in here, I move that knife away from my neck. Just like an inner block, but it's more of an inner grab. Okay, so as he's coming in here, you notice my hand purposely in surrender mode came lower than this arm over here. Because if it came at the same level, I'd have a hard time going through this arm to hit this arm here. So I really purposely lean a little lower so I can come in and grab it here. I come underneath this hand and grab into the thumb muscle here, and I actually step into him and strike him with my elbow. So right there, I hit him with my elbow, and you notice when I start at the beginning of the outside wrist lock here. I take that outside wrist lock, I lock here, I slice into his own neck with his own knife, and I come in and maybe jab him with a stab. So it's all economy of motion. I go one direction, I go the other direction, and then I take that direction and I go outward in the outside wrist lock. As I do this, I spin backwards with this foot here. So as I step back here, I lock it down here. So I'm actually going to do, I have extra motion here so I get good on the camera. And as he hits the ground, this is important. I bring this knee into the elbow, because if I don't, he's going to spin out on me. Here, roll out, there you go. Good, he rolls out on you. So when you take him down, oh, you put that knee in there right away. You see that? So I stop him from rolling on me, and I have an arm bar here at the same time. Now knife disarm, he's almost already letting go of the knife just with the outside wrist lock. So I take my hand here and do the dull side of the knife, rotate, take the knife away. At this bigger point, you have an extreme advantage over you. You have a wrist lock, you have an arm bar, you have a good pin with your knee on top of the shoulder there, and you have his weapon, and that's where you want to be. There's only two ways really knife will attack. And there's different angles of attack, but there's the two main ways. There's linear and there's circular. Circular is many different angles, so you can slash at me, but the number 5 stab is a very common attack. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called a butterfly block with my hands, my thumbs like this. I don't want to try to stop it with my hands open like this, because if I do, and he comes in and I slip, he goes through those hands. Those thumbs interlocked are really important, because it actually adds that web I need to catch that arm coming onto me, that knife. Now, knife and gun. When it comes to knife, we try to get control of the weapon-bearing arm as quick as possible. When it comes to gun, we try to get control of the gun as quick as possible. So from here, as he's coming into me, I want to get control of the arm, come on in, grab it, step under the arm. So you make this bridge with his arm. Step, spin this, take another step again. And from here, what I have is the beginning of a center lock. So if I take his lock and I twist it here, you see him tapping here. But as I am passing under him, I could stab him with his own knife. Now I don't want to sit there and play with this too long, because anybody gets stabbed with his knife, his other hand's going to try to come up there very quickly. And I don't want to give him the ability to grab that knife away from me again. I want to get that knife away from him. So not only stabbing him multiple times, because it doesn't look good for you either. So you come on in. So I have a wrist lock here. I have what's called a center lock. And I'm going to throw him with a center lock. So I use the lock to lift him. And look at this, the aid of this finger here, I can almost flip him. So I can grab here and then toss him right on over. And right from there, you come right into a good defensive stance with the knife. Got an inverted grip on that knife right now. Okay? Next one is attack from behind with the knife. So if the person comes behind you, they have the knife in the neck, rest it right up against your neck. So if I try to grab him, I'm dealing with him pulling you across my neck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my chin down on top of the hand. I'm going to drop into horseback riding stance. I'm going to put my butt into him. So as I do all three of these things here, I lift his feet off the ground, pull that knife right now, pull it, very hard for him. Okay, now as I'm doing that, as I'm dropping down, here, I'm going to take the cross hand, grab his knuckles, twist outward. Other hand's grabbing into the thumb muscle, coming in outside wrist lock. I pull into my sternum. That intensifies the lock. You see him tapping right now. At that bigger point, I'm going to take the knife away from him. I'm going to stab him with his own knife. I'm going to take him, I'm going to outside wrist lock. You can see how my leg is out here on purpose. So when I pull him, it trips right over my leg here. And look where I am. I'm right in that same spot again. I got my knee on top of the elbow, locking him right here. And you have the knife. All right, so now we're dealing with gun defense. And we have a rubber gun. We're going to work with real guns here. We're doing an orange rubber gun, which is very nice because it's easier for you to see in the video. A lot of times you see videos, it's a black gun, black clothing. It's very difficult for you to see. So we're using an orange gun here today for learning purposes here. So we're dealing with gun, and we're dealing with gun a little higher assault. We're doing one-handed gun assault right now. We're not doing two-handed. So one hand is anywhere in the chest and up. It's going to be the same technique. So what I'm going to do, since I'm in a very lethal situation for me right now, I want to make sure that I put him at ease. I want to make him feel like he's in complete control. So my hands come up, I surrender. What do you want? Please don't hurt me.
Gummy bears, sir.
Gummy bears. Always after my gummy bears. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the gun away from my chest, my center mass here. Because if this goes off right now, it's bye-bye me. Okay, so I need to move this gun away from me as much as possible. At the same time, I need to move me away from the gun as much as possible. Now, we all remember the card slipping through the fingers trick, the action-reaction. So Zach when you see me move, when you see a threatening movement towards your gun, I want you to go bang. Okay, so you see his bang happen, I'm out of the way, his shot over this way. At this particular point, I want to make sure I never put my hand in front of that gun here, the barrel. Because if he fires again, boom, I got my hands missing. I want to make sure I come up underneath and grab into the barrel here. Now if it goes off here, it takes about 6 pounds of grip to stop the slide from sliding, so it doesn't take a tremendous amount of strength. I'm going to take the barrel and punch it right back at him. Now if it goes off now, it's not necessarily the end of the technique, but you got good control over the situation. Strike him with your elbow, and you're going to take that barrel and you're going to point it down to the ground. So I have good control over it with this hand here. You see the outside wrist lock. Now, I want to make sure when I strip his gun away from him, I don't ever point it back at my leg or my body. So as I come on in, I take that spin, step back, I point it down to the ground, and as I strip that weapon away, I want to make sure I don't do this. See, it's pointing at my knee. So if it went off now, that would not be good. So when I strip it away from me and outside wrist lock his hand at the same time. So I have a lock here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear away from him. I'm going to advance my weapon, and I'm going to clear a good 20 feet away and keep it right here. Roll over, cross your fingers right behind your head, okay, and bark like a chicken. So the next one, because obviously we're dealing with someone who's attacking, they can attack you higher, they can attack you lower. So lower abdominal here. So like I said, the last one we did chest or head, same technique. We don't need to change anything. We're doing lower abdominal. So what kind of situation would this be? Maybe here, give me the gun. So maybe the guy came up to me and just said, "Hey, quiet man, just go with me." And so he's hiding his gun. You see that? He's hiding his gun, and maybe these people here can't see the gun. And I'm going to say, you know what? I just need you to give me your wallet or whatever his demands are. So that lower abdominal kind of looks kind of weird when you're seeing it, but for teaching purposes today, I'm just going to teach it from here. And so my hands go in the surrender mode, but you notice this gun's low, so my surrender goes low. See that? If this gun was higher, my surrender would come higher. So lower, my fingers point down. My fingers point down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the inside of his wrist, and I'm going to move my body the same way. So I'm just like hitting the wrist and moving my body out that way at the same time. So we'll do that same test again. I'm going to see if Zachary can actually go bang before I can actually move. So I got it out of my way, fast enough. Grab again. Do not put your hand in front of the barrel. Remember, it's a linear weapon. So whatever you have in front of it, it hits. So I grab that barrel again. I step under the hand. I take that spin step. And you notice, very similar to that knife technique we taught, is that now the barrel's pointing back at him. I have a center lock here. Now, put your finger in the trigger. Good. What this becomes is a wrist breaking technique. It's because his grip is so committed to holding on to the gun. He does not want to let go of that gun. So when I do this, if it discharges now, it's not good for him. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use his grip and my grip here and my hand grip on the gun here, and I'm going to do this very aggressive rip and circular motion here. What this does is it breaks all the ligaments in his hand. So I'll let him let go. I will do it at the speed. Do it at a quick speed. You destroy that wrist. So do it again. I come on in. I redirect it. I come in here. Oh, I rip it out of his hand here. Now when I do that, I'm going to take the back end of the gun, not the barrel, the back end, and I'm going to smash it right in the back of his skull. This is going to be like a knockout technique. Boom, here. You come on in, and you push him away, advance your weapon. Hey, rolling your stomach. Very good, excellent. This one, attacker's tagging from behind. Puts you in an awkward position because obviously we don't see from behind. We just know he's making his demands, he's got a gun on my back. I can only assume it's a gun. I can assume, pretty much, it's a right-handed person. Why? Because over 90% of people are right-handed. There's a different technique for left-handed, but we're just going to do right-handed today. So my hands come up in surrender position. I can feel his gun in the lower back, so my hands are going to go low. All I'm going to do is going to spin, and I'm going to move the gun out of the way. Same time my arm hits the gun. So I'm moving my back. So right now, his gun is in my kidney area. So that's pretty bad for me. I want to make sure I move that gun out of the way, and I'm going to hook it. As I hook it here, I'm going to step, I can strike him here into the face. So strike him in the face here. As I strike him in the face here, I'm going to take this hand here, and I'm going to pull it across his face. I'm going to pop his elbow here. So you notice my chest right here, pop. So I hyperextend his elbow here, as I hyperextend his elbow here, I'm going to grab on to his wrist, I'm going to grab onto the barrel of the gun, and this is like the first gun technique. I'm going to point that gun right back at him, strike him with my elbow, point that gun down to the ground, making sure I don't point it back at my leg, and strip it away, and clear away from him. And that's the last one on gun defense.